mess with the buttons after you've started the show. Sorry about that. Okay. So, over the next few weeks, you're going to start to hear that Amazon is shutting down Alexa. Don't panic. For most of us, it's not the one we're thinking of. For a small subset, there is, and we'll talk about that too. But let's talk some tech and clear up the confusion, or try to avoid the confusion in the first place. Sound good? Let's do this. So, like I said, over the next few weeks, months, you're going to start to hear in various press sources, that Amazon is shutting down Alexa. All right, that's going to be the headline because that's going to get everybody's attention. The thing is, it's not the one that we're talking about, right? The odds are it's not the one that we're using. Now, that's true for everybody except for the people who are using Alexa.com for their web traffic monitoring, their keyword research, that kind of stuff. So if you are using that tool, yeah, we have something to talk about, but not the other. But let's talk about why this confusion is going to happen, because some interesting choices were made along the way. Let's put it that way, right? So yeah, let's get a little bit ahead of this, right? So about 25 years ago, a company started to provide services going by the name Alexa or Alexa Internet, depending on how they were presenting themselves. And basically, it was just a service. It was an online service, right? Software as a service kind of thing. And I'm going to quote what they said, right? So that it was created to help people find, reach, and convert your digital audience. Okay, so what that really means is they were providing things like web traffic, analytics, content research, competitive analysis, keyword research, and so on. Basically, Google Analytics kind of thing, okay? Just to use a more generic service that most people have at least heard about if they haven't actually used it. And it was out there for quite some time, doing business, building an audience, doing quite a nice little job. Matter of fact, it actually was a big part of, well, it is still because it's still running, but it was the basis for the creation of things like the Internet Archive, which you can get to through the Wayback Machine. So if you may never have used that, but it's a fun thing to go do. You go check out the Wayback Machine, and you can go and see websites the way that they were many years ago. So anytime you see an article or a news piece, where they show like the original, well, I mean, everybody's got the original Amazon, but anytime they go back to show an old version of a website, or maybe a website that had something up and taken down, a lot of times that's where they're getting that resource, because it takes snapshots along the way. Now, it doesn't grab everything. It's not 100%. Nothing could ever be, but it does a pretty good job of taking snapshots along the way of websites in their different stages throughout their lifetime. And this tool was a big part of the scraping and research that was used in order to get that kind of material. So it was an independent company, founded, I forgot where, overseas. My apologies for the company, because I did actually know that until 2 seconds ago, and I'll know it again as soon as I close the stream. But the point is, it was an independent company, and then let me get the dates right. So 1999, Amazon, right? Amazon, the bookseller, Amazon, the big website, right? Bought it for $250 million in stock. Okay, so for those of you who are keeping track out there, because I know that there are people out there like me who like to keep all these little ducks in a row, right? Yes, this was long before the release of the first Amazon Echo devices, right, of any type. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about all of these things. Let me make sure I get this up. No, not that one. This one. There we go. So, this was before all of this happened, right? All these devices, all this stuff that has the voice in it. This was long before any of that happened. So just to keep it in the timeline, right? They were not using the A name, and I apologize to everybody. I'm probably triggering devices all over the place, and I do apologize, but for this story, I have to use the word. So please apologize. Maybe hit the button on the top of it just while you're watching this. So yeah, so this all happened, and they acquired this company using this name long before these other devices came out, which is all well and good, right? So the devices actually started to show up on in the market November 6th of 2024. So they may have been kicking around the idea of this type of device, but I don't know that like the name connection had been made. And the name is really the problem, right? Because this service that they bought, this company that they bought, was clearly using the name long before. And they were doing that. If you go and do the research, like they were the Library of Alexandria, there were a couple of different references that they were tying in by using that name. So, to me, as somebody who tries to clear up confusion, avoid confusion, it's a strange choice that they made to double up on the name, because obviously they knew they owned this company and they knew that this is the name it went by and that the people who were using the service referred to it by, since that's what's his name. The choice to then use the name for a completely different reason was a little strange. And it is going to be what causes a lot of confusion and consternation across the next couple of months going forward. The ship has sailed and we can't, unless you have a TARDIS, we can't go back and fix it. But this is where we're at. So let me just show you for anybody who maybe hasn't seen, just for complete clarity's sake. Okay, so here we were talking about the fact that it's not these devices. Okay, these devices, if you're using it on your phone, if you've got it on any device, anything that you wear or carry or have in your home, you're good. Okay, if you're a developer who are maybe you're creating things like skills and that type of thing for the device, that's also going to continue. So all of that is perfectly safe, all under the same name, but at least in the case of building the skills and the apps, it makes sense because that's what it is. But, whoops. Oh, puppy, I'm sorry. I just scared the doggy. All right. Well, we won't be using that. But let me show you what it is that we are actually talking about, and that is this. So this is the site that is shutting down. They've got the notice all over the place. So it's as of May 1st, 2022. So if you are using this, and you may have to do some research, like you may be using this and may not know it, so you may want to do a little looking and digging into what you're currently using for your keyword research, your competitive analysis, your internet tracking, all that kind of stuff, because you don't want to be caught high and dry without data. I'll just say that I'm working for somebody right now who ended up doing that to themselves through their own devices, but you don't want to lose your analytic data, so be ahead of this. So this is what we're talking about. So it's Alexa.com. It's a service. You're going to just want to double check and make sure that you're not using it so that you don't end up not using it without knowing it, right? You need to find an alternative. But just so that we're clear, so sometimes I know it helps people to have that visual to see what it is that we're actually talking about. Okay. And now I've lost my notes again. 1 second, please. There we go. Okay. So, the whole confusion thing is totally born of decisions made at Amazon. I don't know why they did it, but here we are. I guess going forward, there won't be as much confusion. But this does lend itself to the question of, well, why is this happening? Like, this type of service is pretty valuable, right? I mean, it's collecting information, which then Amazon, I would assume, has access to. And certainly it's bringing income from the user base that is using the service. And I'm not finding any answers on that. Like, even the site that's talking about it, like, usually they say something, even if it's bullshit, usually they say something about why they're, shutting down. There's nothing. They're just saying they're shutting down. And I don't think it's to avoid confusion, because the confusion's been going on for years, right? So what did I say? What was the dates? So the confusion started around 2014 when Amazon started actively advertising, the Echo devices with the Madam A name on them. So, I don't know. We don't really have any clarity around that at all. And if I do hear anything, I will come back and let you know. I mean, yes, in the big picture, it doesn't matter because it's going away. But it's kind of weird that there's no mention at all of why they would pay, I mean, it was in stock, but still, stock gets cashed in and turns into money. So why they would go through the process of acquiring this company, using this company, keeping the service going, and then just basically decide, yeah, no, we're done. But that's what's happened. That's where we are. So if you are someone who is using this service, you do have plenty of options, right? So, I mean, there is, of course, Google out there. love or hate it, it is an option. But there's also other things like SimilarWeb, it's Tranco, Tranco, ComScore. So there are other resources out there, and you do have enough time, right? So it's May 1st that this is happening. We're still in January 2022. So you've got a couple of months, but it does, you're going to need to do some research. You're going to have to update all of the places that you are currently tracking this kind of activity. So you're going to want to start to, make those decisions and get that ball rolling so that you're not caught at the last minute, because I don't foresee any extensions on this. This is the kind of thing that when they do this, they're just going to pull the plug. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to make sure that my folks here were ahead of the curve, because I liked to help you avoid getting confused, because there's enough confusion in life, right? And we don't really need any more. And when companies are double using a name inside of themselves, it's bad enough when it happens in the market, but when they do it inside their own company, that really makes me bang my head against the wall. Speaking of banging your head against the wall, do not stress over content ideas, no matter what you're doing. Like, at some level, we are all content creators, whether you're, on Twitter, throwing an idea out there, or whether you're doing Instagram or TikTok or, whatever, Pinterest. We all hit that I need to post something, but I don't know what to do moment. So I did this for me. It's yourtechcoach.net/content ideas. I shared it with a couple of friends during the stressful period known as the holiday season, because we don't need the stress. And they liked it. So now I'm making it available to everybody. There is no cost associated with this. You just pop in your email address and it gets mailed to you. So it's yourtechcoach.net content ideas. It's 130 topic ideas. They are not tech specific. I mean, I do tech, but I made them generic. To be honest, it wasn't conscious on my part when I first made the list, but then I realized, hey, this is really multi-purpose. So you can just go in. All I do is I, close my eyes, I flip a couple of pages, and I randomly pick something, and that becomes my topic for those moments when I'm just blocked. And it happens to everybody. So all I'm trying to do here is remove a little stress. Whatever little stress I can remove from your life, I'm all about. So you can go ahead, yourtechcoach.net/content ideas, and get a copy of it and use it as you like. All right, everybody. I am here every week, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I always bring a topic. You are always welcome to come and join and hang out and ask questions and hang out in the community. They have a good time there. Or if you're watching this on a replay and you have a question, you have a topic you want me to cover, you go ahead and put that in. I do come back and respond to those. It may take me, a couple of days, but I do come back and check them on a regular basis. Or you can go to yourtechcoach.net and pop that information in there. Or if you have a question, you can do that there. There's a contact form. All I ask is that if you have a question and you need a fast answer, please give me a way to get back in touch with you so that I can get that answer to you. Otherwise, all I can do is cover it in a future show, which is fine too. But, I like for people who are in need of a fast answer to get it as quickly as possible. Okay? All right. I hope everything is going well and your year is off to a good start, and we will talk again soon. Bye.